It made me very concerned. I started worrying about the livelihood of my business. That I should have anticipated this. At some point, I thought to myself, this guy's out to sabotage me.
To be pretty honest with you, personally, I never loved cars. You know, it's something that I grew into it. But as you grow into it, you fell in love with it.
I would have felt like a failure. I had thought it out, I had budgeted, I had saved, and I had a vision for my family to build a legacy for my children. So there really was no turning back. I had no other alternative but to make this work.
I always tell people that if I had to start the business now, I'll probably shy away. I think one of the key things that made me start the business was that I was naive.
When I give somebody work, it shows that like at least I'm also part of eradicating this poverty which you are having.
Some of the times where you feel the lowest is when you're expecting money to come into the bank and it doesn't, and you have people that you need to feed, which is your children, your staff.
We had no money to pay ourselves. And that's the most effective way to know that if you're making bad decisions and you're no longer happy to be in your business and work feels just like work.
The Investec Acumen program in partnership with Raise Corp was born out of a long-standing interest from Investec in enterprise development and in particular in entrepreneurial development in South Africa. So we went to market and we looked for a partner who was really expert in being able to incubate and advise and grow these entrepreneurs.
When we heard that Investec's enterprise development budget was up for a tender, we were very excited because it was a brand we definitely wanted to be associated with. And what they wanted was something completely unique and different that had never been done before, and that is an incredibly exciting brief for an entrepreneur to do something that's never been done before.
But what we were looking for in a partner wasn't just the best one out there. It was a partner that would be prepared to co-create and collaborate on the program so that our own staff, in particular some of our bankers, could participate in the entrepreneurial development opportunity afforded by the program. And we had a design in mind which hadn't been tried before.
So we pulled together our product development team. We sat in a room and we designed a product called Acumen. And what was very different about this product was the fact that we had to incorporate the bankers in the product.
We would participate collaboratively with them in the selection process, and in the ongoing incubation process, some of our young bankers, the youngsters, would participate in board meetings and advisory activities alongside the Race Corp coaches and mentors in helping those businesses grow and develop.
We have 11 beneficiaries on the Acumen program, and we have been going for a year now. When we started with the Acumen program, we really had quite a disjointed group of companies in different industries at various stages in their business life cycle. Employment growth has been quite substantial, and so is turnover growth. And it really, after the first year, to see the structures and the systems and the processes take a hold in these companies, it really has now, in terms of our guiding, come down to much more specific issues and specific problems.
Kurusani from Kulani Engineering was actually the most impressive entrepreneur during the selection process.
This was a lady who had a great passion for not only her business but the industry that she's in.
But her financial understanding was certainly lacking.
And then when we put some questions to her about the costing of it and the margins and that type of thing, she couldn't really answer it.
She had problems with a financial manager of hers that had basically taken the business down the wrong path.
I didn't have the understanding and the knowledge that I needed in order to
read the books that I'm receiving and whether I'm receiving the right information and how that fits into my business and in terms of my strategic goals.
During our initial board meeting, she was undergoing a process of finding a new financial manager and actually understanding her financial statements a lot better.
Through the program, I've learned and now I understand accounting, I understand how to read my books, I understand my business financially.
Wow, the greatest success. There's quite a few, but I mean, one of the one that stands out currently right now, I mean, was the matter of budgeting.
With my brand group, what we found right at the beginning was their margins were so small, it affected their break-even point to such an extent that the turnover to be attained just to break even was too much.
We were pretty much just working on making sales, make sales, have money in the bank. But now as soon as we started developing into a year into the business, we started realizing that we need to have a plan now in order for us to achieve something. We need to have targets, we need to have goals.
Everything in their budget strives for purpose. The purpose is to have that money in their bank at end of month 12.
It literally spoke directly into what kind of marketing we need, into what kind of sales leads we need per day, per month, per week. And that's how it actually helped to focus on our winning horses, attend to your challenging areas and try to see how you can develop them.
I haven't done finances. I come from a background of IT. I did a BCom. So basically from that point, you know a lot about the technical aspect of your business.
The business had come a long way from a branding organizational perspective. What was lacking was that financial impact.
So when I came in, one of the biggest challenges that I had was, how does one structure finance? How do you forecast? How do you do your costing? Are you really costing correctly? Are you on the right track? Is the business and the industry that you're in worth you fighting every day for? And coming into the program, the aim was to say, let me see if I can find this pool of people that can help me identify some of these pitfalls that I might experience.
A great example of a lot of the businesses and how they battle at that juncture between capability and capacity is Lemon Pebble.
I think our greatest success has been a business awareness. Coming out of architectural school, we're not trained to run businesses.
So their understanding of their financials was pretty poor. They had no sort of real indication of where their business was going, what they were doing.
One of the biggest problems that we had was a cash flow issue where we basically run out of money in order to take our business forward in the next 6 months.
In the second board meeting, they sort of had a lot clearer indication of what to do, how to get the business, and a slightly better understanding of their financial situation.
The help came from being quite pragmatic in learning how to budget correctly and to strategize in going forward.
There really is quite a nice balance between the capabilities and the capacity that the business has, and it's a fantastic starting point from where to grow them in the next year.
Our challenge in the market has been we're not in control of the value chain. We don't manufacture the product, and neither do we have our own trucks.
The industry that she operates in is hugely competitive, and there's almost no way of differentiating yourself in that industry.
Debbie brought to my attention that we need to revamp our CI to be aligned to the prospective businesses that we are chasing after.
Clorny's brand positioning really evolved from a process of looking at ways that she could add value into the supply chain.
At the time I came on the program, our corporate identity was very dull. It wasn't reflecting my personality, let alone the kind of commodity that we are selling to the market.
The new logo is a lot sharper, it's a lot clearer and more contemporary, and it's a lot more energizing. She sells energy of various descriptions, and I really think that it completely encapsulates the glamorous, vibrant, energetic lady that she is.
You know, it looks bigger than what we are, but it also speaks volumes in as far as where it is that we want to head to.
She's one of the beneficiaries that's really taken a guiding on board, and it's this sort of receptiveness to a guiding that I think has been one of the major keys to her success.
Our main client is government, and the biggest challenge that comes with doing business with them is their inconsistency in payments. They have a very funny turnaround time when it comes to payments. They pay when they please, and in as much as the contract might say 30 days, that 30 days can easily be 240 days.
Tabang is a natural marketer. He networks, gets on well with people, and it's always worked extremely well for him. He was very conscious, however, that he wanted to really professionalize his image. He has ambitions far beyond just being seen as a quantity surveyor, and wants to be taken seriously in both the private and the government sector as someone who's a real expert in the built environment.
Because the bulk of our work lies in government, and we wanted to move and start doing more work in the private sector. Through the program, one has learned that marketing in government and marketing in the private sector are completely different. For instance, when I was doing work for government only, I had no need for a live website. I mean, I spent the past 7 years of my business without having a website. I just never had the need. But being on the program has helped me to say, you know what, this works for government, but for the private sector, we need to redress ourselves in such a way that will be more attractive to be able to do work with the private sector.
It takes a lot to leave your job, the comfort of a paycheck, not knowing where your next salary is coming from, not knowing how you're going to pay your bond, your car. It takes a lot, it takes guts, it takes chutzpah, so you want to channel that rather than destroy that, because it is almost the pure essence of entrepreneurship.
When they succeed, it's the underdog story. It's the risk that they have to take often don't look like the reward is going to be worth it, but then when they do, the reward is always so much greater.
So the question around, how do we determine whether the enterprise development program we have has been successful or not is an interesting one. One has a lot of ways of measuring it, but in truth, the real measure will be at the qualitative level more so than the quantitative level. Obviously, there's a quantitative level to it in which we would like to see the majority of these companies become healthier and increasingly more successful in terms of employing more people, but also more profitable. But at the same time, we also recognize the fact that great entrepreneurs are made through trying, failing, learning, and that even if quite a few of these companies don't make it, we believe we've been successful in participating in growing the entrepreneur as an individual in terms of having learned, and that the next time they get up and get back on the horse, they'll be more successful.
Being on the program has helped me individually to think outside the box, to think broader than our limited resources, and find ways of maximizing on the expertise and resources that are out there.
I think I hadn't learned the business of failure. And the program is something that taught me about failure, that failure is not necessarily the end. It is just a stepping stone in the process towards success.
Being on the program, what helps you as the entrepreneur with this? Interacting with one another, that ability to network and get out of your shell and hear what the other people are experiencing sort of gives you hope that, you know what, you can still try again, you can get this thing to work.
It helped me to become a better entrepreneur, a better businessman. It equipped me with tools and knowledge and how to build a sustainable business, even if regardless of my brand group, but how to actually build a business, and how to make sure that you build a sustainable business.